There are two things I don't like to mess with: electricity and HOAs. The shocking truth about the ungrounded, petty corruption of a group of people telling me I can't put a 20-foot tall inflatable rubber duck stepping on Jeep on my lawn is a great reminder that the only good HOA is an old-fashioned Al Pacino hooah! But unlike HOAs, electricity is actually useful, giving us things like fake gum to prank our friends, toggle switches to keep in our pockets because for some odd reason fidget toys are cool now, but most importantly, electricity has given us gang boxes, a small plastic box that's probably used for something, but when combined with literal garbage can be used to make a house perfect for any TTRPG or war game. Let's get into it. First things first, pick up a couple of electrical gang boxes from the store and use a coping saw to cut off the wings like Tim Taylor at Thanksgiving. Don't throw the wings away because for once these will actually be used later. Then find the piece of sandpaper you kept in your back pocket for that hilarious SpongeBob cosplay and give everything a good rub down to make the paint and glue stick better later. Take the nails out of the wings from earlier and scrape them up like you're playing that eraser game from middle school. Then load up your hot glue gun and start sticking stuff on the gang boxes like it's a tacky fridge full of magnets. Try to remember whether or not your fridge is full of magnets before attaching a 3D printed door to the front of the building and grabbing a small pretzel container full of random plastic pieces you've collected over the years. This is mostly an assortment of the tops of applesauce pouches, beads, buttons, gears, and any random piece of interesting looking plastic I can find. Just play around until something looks like it could fit and then sand it down and glue it on. The nice thing about this project in particular is that everyone has access to different garbage, meaning that every piece will be unique and special in their own way, just like you, a unique piece of garbage. Then sing Trash Trash Go Away and Come Again Another Day and cut a door-shaped hole about 1 inch by 2 inches and glue in another piece of interesting looking plastic on the inside so that it's a little offset. Then using the coffee stir stick you stole from Starbucks with all the grace and subtlety of a cat falling into the bathtub, cut a frame out of the stir stick and glue it to the sides of the door. After framing the doorway like it's Roger Rabbit, glue on a few more bits and bobs before taking everything out to the garage, or as the French say, garage. Prime everything with a matte black spray primer before realizing that the only way to tell what language someone is speaking when talking about where to park your car is how pretentious they are. Once dry, bring everything back inside and get ready to paint. Start with Apple Barrel's Admiral Blue, painting only the original gang box, leaving most of the extra bits as they'll be painted silver and brass later. The second house will be based with an English ivy green. Just make sure to brush lightly enough so that all the markings from the sanding show through. Moving back to blue, give everything a heavier highlight in cobalt hue, which is absolutely going to be on my list of names for D&D characters I'll never play, along with Potatoes O'Brien and Miss Holly Branch, who will be providing our greenhouse midtones. And also, coincidentally, Greenhouse Midtones will be playing at First Avenue this weekend. Dry brush the blue house with Caribbean, or Caribbean if you're an aristocrat, focusing mainly on the corners and raised edges. Finish the green off with limeade, wondering why I can never learn that it doesn't taste nearly as good as it sounds or even be bothered to write new jokes. Finally, paint all the greeble, alternating between Folk Art's Freedom Metal Gray and Antique Copper, making sure to paint it on thin so that all the black shows through and makes the metal pieces look faded and worn. Lastly, take both pieces outside and spray them down with a satin spray primer because the store was out of cashmere spray primer. Think a little too hard about what that joke could possibly mean and then finally move on to the outro. Home is where the heart is. But when I accuse some guy sleeping on the street of not having any organs, people call me heartless, leaving me to wonder why some random guy that thinks he's a lot funnier than he is accusing me of not having one of those big pianos from church. These homes, on the other hand, are where the dice are, and the dice are on the table. But according to HOA regulations, all dice with an amount of faces exceeding 6 must be contained within a standard issue dice bag, and all tables not used for dining or coffee must be in clean folding condition and up for no more than 2 hours at a time. Also, are your miniatures in proper table-ready order? Have a good one.